Okay, completing the square is when we start with a quadratic in the expanded out form, and we want to put it in completed square form, which consists of a squared bracket and a number at the end. And this is pretty much the simplest case. So, starting with the x squared minus 4x, okay, we know that a couple of lines down, we want to end up with a squared bracket. Okay, I'm going to show you the full way of getting to this answer, and then later in the video I'll show you a shortened version of the method that you might like to use. Okay, coming back to this, my squared bracket is going to have to give me, well, this is simple because I've just got one x squared, so I'm going to get an x squared in my grid, and I know that's going to be an x times an x. Now my x term is minus 4x. And I know that I need the same number here and here because I'm squaring something. So I'm going to get the same term in x here and here. So I'm going to get x is appearing here, x is appearing here, and to form minus 4x I'm going to need minus 2x in each place because these will then add up to give me my minus 4x. And now I can work out what number I need in the bracket. So I need a minus 2 and a minus 2 to form the minus 2x's. So I now know what my squared bracket is going to be. It's going to be x minus 2 squared. But if I square this all out completely, I'm going to get minus 2 times minus 2 is a plus 4. So if I think about where the squared bracket comes from, on the line above, it's going to come from x squared minus 4x plus 4. That is the result of a squared bracket, so I'm going to be able to turn that into x minus 2 squared. But of course this isn't the same as the line above. I want to write equals here, and the only way I can make that true is by getting rid of this plus 4 again, so putting a minus 4 after it. So I can now see my starting expression. I've got a line on the next line that is actually the same as it, because these will cancel out. But this bit that I've bracketed off, I know from my grid, is equal to x minus 2 in a bracket squared. So that accounts for the bracketed off bit, but I've still got the minus 4 afterwards. So the answer is x minus 2 in a bracket squared minus 4. And I call this the full way of setting it out. Now the quick way of setting it out is where we do away with this middle stage. So some people like to go directly from x squared minus 4x to x minus 2 squared minus 4. How can we do that? We want to put equals here. Well, this grid is still relevant. We know that to create x squared minus 4x, I'm going to need a grid with two lots of minus 2x, so I can spot the squared bracket is x minus 2 squared. Now a quick way of getting this minus 2 is to look at the coefficient of x. Because that will be divided into two terms in the grid, we know that half of that coefficient, half of that minus 4, is going to be the number we need with the x in the squaredy bracket. So we can just look at this, halve the minus 4, and we know how to set up the squaredy bracket. How do we know what to take away? Well, whatever this number is, when it's squared, it will appear down here when we multiply out the squared bracket. So we can see that this number here, squared, minus 2 squared is plus 4. That will appear in the grid. But it doesn't appear in what I started with, so it needs getting rid of. This contains this plus 4 that I don't want. So that's why I have a minus 4 after it. So to summarise the quick method, we look at the coefficient of x, minus 4. Half of that coefficient of x gives us what we need in the squared bracket. And then we always take away, it always is a minus, we always square this number and take it away. And you should be able to see why that method works because of the work we've done so far in this video.